Hello, my name is Joy, and I welcome you to Spark Joy Astrology. We are most definitely working with sparky energy in the cosmos today on this full moon. Happy full moon in Aries. I love Aries. It might be because I am an Aries sun and I feel this lunation so potently. One thing I must say right off the bat, friends, is move your body. I am so excited to get to teach a yoga class today. I love when my teaching schedule aligns with the cosmic energy in a potent way, and get to move today. So this warrior energy is a strong one, and it can definitely bubble up into some tension and aggression. So getting to move your body to allow that energy to flow through you is really important. But we're going to start today with just speaking a little bit about what this moon is all about. Well, first of all, it is the last supermoon of the year, so it is closest to the Earth that it can possibly be in its orbit. So maybe looking at it today, you might see that it's a tiny bit bigger than it will be next lunation cycle. And it is also the last full moon before eclipse season starts. Dun, dun, dun. On October 14th, that new moon will lead us into eclipse season. So we're kind of getting a taste, though, of eclipse season because the axis of eclipses are in Aries and Libra, like this lunation. But it is not quite into that eclipse degree yet. Our moon is at 6 degrees and the south, or rather north node, is at 24 degrees. So as they get closer into that engagement range, that's when we start to find the eclipse season begin. And with eclipses, we can always expect the unexpected and the universe to pick us out of where we are and think we should be and put us where we need to be. So this is a new moon, or rather a full moon, maybe giving us a taste of where we're going in the upcoming eclipse season. This full moon is also the harvest moon in the fact that we are in fall now, friends, here in the northern hemisphere, that is. The sun moved into Libra recently, starting Libra season and starting the season of fall, but initiating the day of balance. The equinox is what happens when the sun moves into Libra, into the balance point of light and dark. This balance point is very much a sacred place that we've been working towards in a lot of retrograde cycles that have been going down this year. So here we are in this balancing place, but working with energies that can really take us out of balance. So it is a practice, friends, to get this into that Libra scale of finding that perfect balance. And how do we do that? Well, let's first look at the potent players that are a part of this lunation. In the house of Aries, where this moon is receiving those sun's rays at 6 degrees, you also find Chiron. Chiron is at 18 degrees, and he's going retrograde. Chiron representing our pains, our traumas, the deepest fears within us, going retrograde is asking us to revise these patterns, to look at them, to really sit with them. And the North Node in Aries is at 24 degrees. The North Node, the head of the dragon in Vedic astrology, is leading us towards our destiny, towards our purpose. And in the sign of Aries, we are being asked to look at how we individually show up in life and really hone in on this inner balance within us, so that when we find that beautiful balance point, we can really shine that out into our external world. And here across from the house of Aries, we have the sun, because a full moon is always an opposition between the sun and the moon. And so directly across from Aries is Libra, where the sun is at 6 degrees, and right next to the sun is Pallas Athena, the asteroid of strategy. Athena burst out of her dad's head, born out of Zeus, fully armored, ready to go. She represents this creative, feminine intelligence around strategizing. She is a beautiful energy towards resolving conflict. So how beautiful that our sun is conjunct this powerfully yin, wanting to move into resolution through strategy energy. And then we have Mars at 21 degrees of Libra, 3 degrees away from the South Node at 24 degrees. This is a lot of energy speaking towards cutting out old karmic relationships. That would represent South Node in Libra. South Node being the dragon's tail, things that we have accumulated in past lives, lessons, people, karmic things. So with Mars almost coming into this conjunction, Mars holding that sword is ready to sever old karmic ties that hold us down and do not allow that head of the dragon to fully move into our purpose and destiny. So, setting the scene here, friends, we have Aries ruled by Mars. Mars is hanging out in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Well, so we need to look at where Venus is because she is a part of the story. She is literally telling the sun, Pallas Athena, Mars, and the South Node how to do life right now because they are in her home. Mars, being opposite his home sign of Aries, is not happy here. Any planet opposite from its home feels weak. Debilitated is the actual term for it. Because Mars is the warrior, he wants to fight and, be aggressive and assertive. But he's in the house of Libra where diplomacy, balance, and peace is trying to be stoked. So how does he show up? Well, he listens to Venus and he fights for love. He fights for Venus. He fights for that divine masculine and divine feminine balance being here in Libra, which is represented by that beautiful scale, right? So Mars fighting for Venus, Pallas Athena strategizing for Venus. Our sun, our purpose, our path in life is also working towards this Venusian ideal, and our South Node here helping us to release old patterns that do not allow this balance in. Okay, so that kind of sets the scene of this oppositional force. And we're going to go to the house of Taurus now, where Venus is, or rather, I'm sorry, Leo, where Venus is, because she is directing the house of where the sun is, right? And Mars, the star of this lunation, since the moon is in his home. And what she is doing here in Leo is really important, friends. She has been working through a retrograde and now in direct motion back through the degrees of her retrograde. Those were 12 to 28 degrees of Leo. And in this house of Leo, she has been joined this whole cycle with Pallas, or sorry, not Pallas, but two asteroids, Juno and Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is some heavy energy, but on the healed spectrum of Black Moon Lilith, it is sovereignty, it is wholeness, it is this balance of our instinctual animalistic self and our spiritual high priestess self. And Juno, traveling in this house with Venus, has been asking us to look at what we want to commit to, what we want to be loyal to. This is lifelong commitment that Juno brings in. So some really strong energy that Venus is directing this this Libra house with, and Mars, the star of the show, is really working towards working into Venus's desires of balance within your own heart. Okay, so that sets the scene, friends, of these potent houses. Taurus is also going to be a part of this. Venus rules two homes, her masculine sign of Libra and her feminine sign of Taurus. Taurus is where an aspect will be made a little bit later. So just know, friends, that Venus is a big part of this, all right? She always is in my book, and I love to find the dots of how to connect her to it. Because Venus, my friends, is incredible. If you have not been waking up early and seeing her rise at the brightest, most beautiful star in the sky, you're missing out. She is an incredible character in the cosmos and needs to be paid the homage that she deserves. So I'm happy to speak for her today. All right, this full moon, here we go. At 3:57 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, it came into perfect alignment at 6 degrees even in this potent axis of the south and north node that is leading us into these eclipse seasons. And this culmination, a full moon is always the ending of a cycle. So we look at reflecting, at releasing and renewing. And these potent new moon seeds were set 6 months prior in the new moon in Aries in April 19th at 29 degrees. It was a total solar eclipse, so really strong seeds were planted at that time, are now coming into this full moon culmination. So what kind of plants are you harvesting at this moment? Maybe it's a Venus flytrap. Maybe it's a beautiful flower, maybe it's a tree, but we are looking to harvest, right? Harvest what we've planted and really take stock, right? This harvest full moon, what do we have? How do we need to change what we have to find that balance to make it through, fall and the harshness of winter? So, with this full moon, Aries being that home to Mars, that warrior, we are certainly offered this independent, pioneering, vibrant energy. Our emotional nature is charged with this passionate, pioneering energy. And Chiron being in the house is also charged with healing, right? With working on moving towards our highest us, hello North Node, our destiny, our purpose. So passionate emotions are definitely a part of this lunation. And we can really, bubble over with anger, with frustration, with rage with this particular energy. As a warrior, you must have these feelings to be able to go into battle, to be able to fight and lay your life on the line. And so these passionate emotions are something that we need to be aware of, and as enlightened beings, aim them wisely. And how do we aim these courageous warrior energies? Well, through courage, through commitment, through passion, through setting our eyes on the prize and going, and looking fear in the eyes, looking those Chiron traumas in the eyes and pushing through courageously, and finding the strength, that inner passion and fire to cut out with our sword those patterns and people in our lives that are not bringing us into balance. Okay, friends, so that is a good summary of the moon itself, but we do have aspects happening on this day that are very much a part of this energy signature. And the first one that comes into play is at 11:52 a.m. This is when Venus, hello Venus, in Leo at 22 degrees makes her final and third square to Uranus at 22 degrees in Taurus, Venus's home sign. Taurus is a house that seeks pleasure, stability, groundedness, that really is able to light us up in the ways of our five senses, the way we feel things. It's a very sensual energy, the way we taste things, smell things, all of these ignited senses happen in Taurus. And so this creative Venusian energy has been being really asked to up level and change with Uranus. Uranus is kind of the opposite of Taurus in the fact that it likes to shake things up, break things up. If you're lazy, Taurus can kind of get a little lazy. Uranus says, no more, friends. It's time to do the work and shift and move into the newest version of you. And Taurus is definitely about money as well, right? So this Venus square to Uranus could be asking you to change the way you show up in relationships, Love, hello Venus. Money, what we value, hello Venus. Or creativity, hello Venus. So these are topics that are definitely coming into some big revelation energy today. This third square, friends, is happening at 11:52 at the same time that Venus and Mars are almost making a sextile. So Mars at 21 degrees and 27 minutes in Libra is sextiling Venus at 22 degrees and 26 minutes, and who's also conjunct right next to Juno at 22 degrees and 2 minutes in Leo. So they're almost making an exact sextile, but not quite. So this particular energy is most definitely some passion. A sextile is by the nature of Venus, so bringing in that balancing, harmonizing energy to the yin and the yang, the lovers of the cosmos, to really work through the challenges, work through the patterns, the trauma, to cut out all the crap so that we can step into this balance. And with the Venus and Mars flirting, this engagement really is asking us to look at what is unstable in our relationships, because and how we're earning money and our creativity, those three things. Because Venus squaring Uranus has been shaking us up in this way since July 2nd. That was the first time they came into this square, when Venus was going direct. And then the second time it happened was on August 9th, when Venus was going back retrograde over that degree. And now the third time, as she's moving forward towards finishing this retrograde cycle. That will happen on October 7th, when she hits 28 degrees and is at that same place that started this whole evolutionary shift and revolution when it comes to our own heart's desires. Okay, so very possible that your relationship stability is being challenged right now, but hopefully with this third time around, you're feeling it coming into a more stable foundation. And that can also be the way you're earning money. Myself, friends, I've been going through a big shift and change, moving from working at CSU for 20 years in bicycling realms, and into really what lights my heart's desire up, and that is healing people. I am a Reiki master, and I also practice magic, and I am finding myself moving into working in ceremony with people through healing modalities and really bridging my worlds from what I know I'm meant to do. Young me who learned these Wiccan ceremonial, beautiful, energetic states of mind. And now, after moving through ceremony in Mexico in a psychedelic state through mushrooms, and feeling the desire of Mary Magdalene and Jesus to really empower me to step into my healer shoes, knowing that in past lives I've worked with Mary Magdalene and helped to institute this healing in other realms of reality, past lives. I know that Mary Magdalene and Jesus used mushrooms as healing modalities. I know it with every being of my fiber. That's been part of this knowledge obtaining that I've done in this Venus cycle. Venus has been working my 12th house, so I've been intimately connecting with my ancestors, learning how this trauma cycle of Chiron working in Aries is most definitely working through old generational patterns that we've been, receiving generation after generation, and now we're really here to find a new balance. It's a new time, friends. And so the way that you earn money, the way that you show up in relationships, the way that you create is all shifting and evolutionize, moving into a new evolution through Uranus. So breakthroughs, breakdowns are definitely a part of this, leading us into this new, independent, free, us, sovereign, right? That's what Black Moon Lilith has been asking Venus to really work through as they've been traveling through Leo together. Okay, so what is oh so special about this beautiful Uranus energy is that tomorrow Mercury gets to make a trine to Uranus. I'll talk a little bit more about that after this aspect because we have to finish the 29th first. So the 29th, we finish the day with one last exact aspect, and that is at 11:44 p.m. when the moon at 18 degrees comes into that blending, the conjunction with Chiron. Hello. We are going to work at really seeing and eradicating those pains and traumas from our ancestors, from our childhood. The moon coming into conjunction with Chiron, the moon represents our emotions, our yin nature, which also means our mothers and our bodies. So this could be working with ancestors, grandmother energy, mother energy, as well as our own trauma within our bodies. But this is definitely a day that past wounds, traumas are being looked at to heal, to eradicate, to passionately cut out and passionately move towards this deeper understanding of who we are without those traumas and pains holding us back. So it is a beautiful time to revise our feelings, to use the South Node and Mars together to release these old patterns and move into uncharted territory. And here's where that starts, friends. The next day, on the 30th, we have an important aspect happening. This is the aspect between Mercury trining Uranus. Here's Uranus again. Uranus is the character in the story that is asking us to grow, to expand, to evolve. He is a big catalyst. I know you've heard me talk about him a lot in the last few videos, and here he is making this connection to Mercury. So what's happening here, friends, is that Mercury started a retrograde on August 23rd. He was at 21 degrees. 21 degrees, just a few degrees away from Uranus. And, he almost got there, almost had that trine and said, oh, I'm not quite ready yet. I need to go back and I need to revise some stuff before I have this revolutionary conversation. So as Mercury went back and forward and back through the degrees of 8 to 21. He did make three trines to Jupiter. Jupiter represents our belief systems. And so with Mercury, the way we think and communicate and analyze information, trining Jupiter 3 times, we were really asked to expand our minds and our belief systems, the way we think about things, heal old traumas, right? Old ways of being that are not really in alignment with who we are. And tomorrow at 10:55 a.m., Mercury finally makes that conversation happen when he does trine Uranus, making this potent, big evolutionary shift happen. Whew, very exciting energy, friends, as Mercury is now moving into uncharted territory, right? We've been working 8 to 21 for a long time. Now Mercury, along with Mars, is finally moving forward out of retrograde zone. We only have 2 planets that are doing that as of tomorrow. On October 7th, Venus joins that uncharted territory and leaves post-shadow phase off of her little cycle of 12 to 28 and starts anew. A whole new world, friends. So much is happening in this month of October with the eclipse season starting with the new moon. So this is a beautiful time to really reflect on a lot of work we've been doing, revisiting lessons, old things, back and forth. And now, where are we at in this revolution of love? How have we up-leveled? How have we gleaned old patterns that need to be released. How have we done that? How do we need to still do that? Maybe those are part of our new moon seeds that we plant in the eclipse season on October 14th. But this is a potent time on October 31st. Venus moves out of Leo and into the next house of Virgo, where she can actually make a trine to Uranus. No more squares. She's going to make that evolutionary jump into expanding as well. So, potent conversations, friends. This is the weekend as Mercury trines. Oh gosh, my partner just scared me. I thought I was home alone, but I'm not. Okay, let me just finish this out. Mercury trines Uranus. So make those big evolutionary shifts. Don't be fearful. Charge ahead passionately. And I send you oh so much love and light and joy. I'll see you soon. Mwah.